This is a training session on the 17 indisputable laws of teamwork. During the 1990s, what I have found to happen is that leadership became a very prominent subject. If you went to the business community, they wanted to learn about leadership. If you went into the government community, they wanted to learn about leadership. If you went into the church community, they wanted to learn about leadership. If you went into any community, leadership became kind of the big deal. And in the 90s, I wrote several books on the subject of leadership. In 1993, I wrote a book called Developing the Leader Within You, helping people develop themselves as leaders. As a complementary book, the year later, I wrote a book called Developing the Leaders Around You, kind of helping a leader develop leaders around him or her. And then in 1997, I wrote a book that was kind of a soft leadership book called Becoming a Person of Influence. Again, how to have influence with people, basically how to become a better leader with people. In 1998, I wrote a book that has become very popular, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. This has been used major in the business community, government community, the church community. And this was a book that helped people understand that there were certain laws that if they learned those laws, if they obeyed and followed those laws, they would become very effective as a leader. And I followed the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership with a book entitled The 21 Indispensable Qualities. I talked about what are the qualities that need to be inside a person to be the leader that they really want to become. Then I followed that up with a kind of a Christian religious leadership book called The 21 Most Powerful Minutes in a Leader's Day, where I took the 21 laws and applied it to biblical characters so that people could, again, identify the laws with people who really did a good job with them. Okay. One thing that I found very interesting as I taught this decade of leadership is that as leaders grew, as leaders learned, as leaders matured, as leaders developed, I found that they began to ask themselves not only how can I lead better or how can I develop people around me to lead better, but they began to talk about teamwork because they found that nobody is a leader in every area. For example, in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, most of the audience here, how many of you have the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership? Oh, this is very good. Now, keep your hands up, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. The people that have their hands up now in this room are truly the great leaders in this room. Now, you noticed, I did not ask how many have read the 21 Irrefutable. That's way too big of a risk. I'm not going there. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Okay. Now, anybody that has read the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, the first thing they come to the realization is that they're not good in all 21 laws. Is that not true? Let me just ask you, how many of you probably fell a little short in at least 2 or 3 of the 21 Irrefutable Laws? Okay, thank you very much. Now, the reason I asked that question, and the reason there's such laughter in the audience is because anybody that takes the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership book and begins to dissect and learn those laws understands quickly that in some laws they excel and in some laws they do not. Now, that's where teamwork comes in. You see, what I have found is that the moment we realize that we do not do well in all of the leadership laws, the next question is then, who does well in a leadership law that I don't do well? And all of a sudden, there begins to be what I would call this urgency to develop a team. Does that make sense? Because teamwork matures, teamwork takes leadership and allows it to be what it really needs to become.